Hello, my name is Peter Hartman, and welcome to Fireside. Today we'll be talking about wisdom and the grand perspective. It's so good to be with you here today. I haven't been around for a little while, but I'm happy to be here right now. This is Fireside, presented by Happy for a Change. It's here for uplifting and empowering conversations, catering to the heart and mind. Fireside takes place on our Telegram channel, in our Telegram group. And you're welcome to join the group to get more Fireside. We can have conversations together, or you can just listen to me speak if you prefer. There's no obligation. You can just listen like a radio station or a podcast, or you can participate if you feel inclined. I'm broadcasting on YouTube to reach a wider audience, and this conversation will probably be more one-sided, but feel free to write comments or to post in the Telegram group, and I'll do my best to address what you're saying, and you can be a part of the show. Today we're talking about wisdom and the grand perspective. Knowledge can only take you so far. Without wisdom, the strong become weak and the rich become poor. Knowledge is information, the information that you gain from studying, from learning. But without proper judgment, that knowledge can be applied in destructive ways. These destructive ways can be conscious. You can be aware that you're being destructive. Or they can be unconscious. You might not know that you are implementing your knowledge in a way that will cause harm. But with an even temperament, with a mind to the future, and by taking a step back to look at the big picture, we set ourselves up for the possibility of acting with our knowledge in a way that is beneficial. I know it's tough. We live in a world with a lot of people who think of themselves as knowledgeable. I think of myself as knowledgeable. But I don't pride myself on my knowledge. I pride who I am on the wisdom that I have, even temperament, skepticism, and a recognition that we're living in a universe, on a planet, in a world with multiple streams of input, multiple streams of influence. Each one of us is a stream of influence, and it's easy to think that our stream, our river, the way that we flow, the way that we move, is the better way, is the best way, is the way that all other rivers should flow. But the way it works is that rivers interact in their own way. Everyone has their own stream, and the wise choice is to accept that no matter what you do, no matter how smart you are, no matter how much power or how much money or how much influence, you will be limited in how you can cause someone else to flow differently. And that's a good thing, because the variety of our experience gives birth to more interesting combinations, to creative outcomes, to surprise. That's the magic of life. So when you apply your knowledge to whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is, what goal you want to accomplish, I recommend that you take a step back and take the broadest perspective possible, the grand perspective, the perspective of God, the universal perspective. And ask yourself, are you acting in such a way as to devalue or deny the validity of someone else's stream? Are you acting in a way that is complementing the human experience? Or are you acting in a way that will sever, cut you off, destroy, diminish the way someone else is choosing to flow? I'm not going to pretend that it's easy to know what the wise choice is. I have developed over my life a set of principles that I like to live by, because I find that if I measure my actions alongside these principles, then the outcome tends to be favorable. Not only to me, but to the people around me. What I'd like to tell you today about the grand perspective is to consider all of humanity. Humanity as a whole, not humanity only as it exists today, but humanity as it will exist in the future. Because every action that you take, everything that you do, every thought that you think, every word that you utter causes a ripple effect that influences not only every human being on this planet, whether you're aware of it or not, but it influences the entire future. It's really beautiful when you think of it. You are engaged in an epic orchestration involving billions of other people. That's why I like to think and say that you matter, that everything you do matters. That's another principle to live by. It's very easy for us to say, well, this is small, I'm small, this doesn't matter. But in the grand perspective, you recognize that every piece of the universe, every piece on this planet, every piece of human matters because it all contributes to the whole. The whole is made up of the sum of its parts, and you are part of that sum. So you might think, this word that I'm uttering doesn't matter, so I'll just say it. I'll just yell at the cab driver. I'll just get upset at the cashier. I'll just do this job to pay the bills. All of those decisions have consequences. They influence the future. When you yell at that cab driver, you influence that cab driver. When you yell at the cashier, not only is that cashier influenced, but all the people who see you yelling at that cashier are influenced. You put them in a state of being, in a vibe, in an atmosphere that makes it more likely that more antagonistic, negative, not so great actions can be born from that. When you choose to work that job that you hate, you make it more likely that humans in the future will work jobs that they hate. Because when you choose to go your own path, your own way, and do your own thing, you create footsteps that over time, as more and more people follow in your footsteps, creates a path that makes it easier for people in the future to do their own thing. So you say, I'm small. I'm nothing. You're small. You're nothing. This is just a word. This is just a TV show that I'm watching. This is just a book that I'm reading. This is just a politician that I'm listening to. This is just a conversation that I'm having. This is just the food that I'm eating. And none of those things are small. And knowledge might put you in a place, in a mindset that might allow you to make decisions that you might not otherwise do if you adopted the grand perspective. You might not do those things and eat that thing and go to that place and say those words if you knew it was going to affect everyone, everything throughout time. Wisdom is knowing what to do with your knowledge. And I walk around on this planet and I can see so many people know so many things, so many smart people everywhere. The average person today is smarter than all of human history. You have access to information up the wazoo, so much at your fingertips. When I was growing up, we used to wonder about this or that. What was the name of this? What was the book of that? But today we have access to that in spades. I never have to wonder about some detail or some recipe or some piece of information. I can look it up. I have access to the Library of Alexandria on steroids. We all do. And what do we do with that information, with that knowledge? We still fight. We still go to war with each other. We still find reasons to separate ourselves from our brothers and our sisters and humanity at large. We still find a way to do harm. Why? It's because we're not operating from the grand perspective. We are not being wise. But that's okay. Because when we make mistakes and things go awry, when we cause trouble and we experience strife and pain, eventually humanity learns. Eventually, I believe we will learn. And in the future, when you think about the future, do you think that people will still be fighting each other, going to war, tearing each other down, hating their neighbor? I hope not. I hope you don't see that future. But we don't get there by acting the way we're acting. You don't get to the happy, prosperous future through hate, vilification, war, violence. We have to find a way to transcend those things. And why do we fall into those behaviors, those patterns over and over again? It's because life itself, our life, our current experience, at least in the West, doesn't necessarily encourage us to adopt a broader perspective. Very narrow minded. Because in order to get people to behave the way you want them to behave, you make them afraid, you make them angry. You cause this pointed experience that causes an individual to want to destroy what's making them afraid, destroy what they hate. And it will take a spiritual awakening or aliens landing on the planet or something to jog us out of this habit of using knowledge as a weapon, instead as a stepping stone to wisdom. Knowledge might put you in a place that says, I want it, I will have it. Wisdom might put you in a place that says, I want it, but is it good for me? Is it good for others? Wisdom guides you to better choices, choices that not only benefit you, but benefit everyone else. So, what will you do? How will you live? What you do and how you will live will influence the future. So, what future are you aiming for? Where are we going? Where are you taking us? The reason I speak this way, the reason I put my voice out into the world is because I want to influence you to help me create a better future, a wiser future. I cannot imagine that the way we are today is the way people will be 100 years from now. I hope not. I don't want that to be. We can't sit around waiting for someone else to do the thing that gives us the bright future. We have to do it. We have to do it with the billions of actions that we take every day. Billions of little choices, significant choices that we make. Nothing is small. Everything matters. You matter. If there is a God, if there is a universal consciousness, I believe that that being would tell you that you matter and to start acting like you matter. And I think that being would encourage you to find every avenue possible to develop wisdom so that you make wise choices. Because your life, Your well-being and mine depend on it. What are your principles? What do you live by? In my mind, the likelihood that the people listening to this broadcast are probably going to be more like me, peace minded, caring, wise individuals. So, what about the people who are not listening to this? How am I going to influence them? I think about that every day. There are a lot of things that I can do, but I am inspired to do the hard thing, to try and change the world because nothing else matters to me. Nothing else matters to me at all. I can't think of anything to do that is more worth my time than to give over my life force and my energy to make your life and the lives of the people that you care about better. To me, that's a wise choice, a wise way to live your life. And I wish that other people, a lot more people, chose to do the same thing. But what's interesting is that I think as time goes on, if I pay attention, if I look closely, if I adopt the grand perspective, I see more and more people than ever before who are like me, who are not looking to destroy, but looking to create, to build up, to be constructive, to be positive, to help the future. And so some days I feel alone, but other days, I feel like I'm part of a large crowd, a large gathering of people, disconnected in space and time, but unified by wisdom, by wise actions, wise choices, wise words, wise thoughts. And I can't say for sure that the actions that I take won't cause destruction. But at the very least, if I can choose, I'm going to choose not to destroy consciously. Whatever destruction happens because of me, let it be because I tried to do something good and faltered, not because I didn't care or I didn't try. Every single minute of every single day, you have a choice to move in the direction of who you'd like to be or to not. And I would like to propose to you that who you'd like to be is someone who's wise, someone who has information, knowledge, know how, and is willing to ask themselves, how can I use this knowledge in a way that benefits all of mankind, all of humanity? Because the future depends on us, the billions of choices that we make. If you hold that in your mind, I think you will reach a place where wisdom is your companion every day. Wisdom. What should I say? What should I do? What should I eat? What should I watch? Where should I go? How should I be? What should I wear? What should I buy? What is the wise choice? Knowledge can only take you so far. Without wisdom, the strong become weak, and the rich become poor. That's a good thing. It motivates us, incentivizes us to seek out wisdom. Think about the principles that you live by. Are they crafted to help you alone? Or do you choose your principles for how it influences the world at large and the future that is ahead of us? If you're listening to this right now, my guess is that you have adopted a grand perspective. And if you'd like to join me in our quest, in my quest to be wise in such a way that it helps the world, I would really love to have you. I love the world, and I love people, and I don't know you specifically, personally, but I do love you because every morning you wake up and you go out there into the world, and whether I agree with what you do or not, you get out of bed and you live life, and you make choices, and you influence the world. That's not an easy thing to do and to continue doing. So you make the wise choice to get out of bed, and I'm happy about that. And I choose love because that's a wise choice. I choose love because love is seeing the value in another, and I see your value because you matter. And your choices matter. Use your knowledge for the good of humanity. My name is Peter Hartman. I want to thank you so much for your time. And please remember that there's always a place for you by the fireside. Thank you so much.